Hello, today we're going to build a Webviewer app. This app is going to use multiple screens, a template screen, and the Webviewer component. You're going to program your app to navigate between the screens. The first thing we're going to do is some work building out the user interface here in the design area. So we're going to add 3 rows, which can be a little funky here in Thunkable, but we'll bring in the first one. And we want to make sure to set the height to a relative size, and for row 1 we're going to call this 10%. We're going to bring in a second row, and for this one we're going to set the height to a relative size of 60%, and then we're going to add one more row, and we're going to set this one to a relative size of 30%. So our rows should be set up like this, and just in the way that we added them, and the way Thunkable works, row 1 will be at the bottom, row 3 will be at the top. For our top row, we're going to want 2 columns in it, so we'll go column 1, drag it in, and we're going to set the width to a relative size of 50, and then we're going to add one more column up into the top row. I'm going to set the width to a relative size of 50. We're going to drag out a couple buttons that we're going to put in each of the columns. So we're going to put our first button, we can put it over here, and we want to name this one the Serena button. We're going to erase the text. We're going to change the background picture to Serena Williams, and we're going to resize it as stretch. We're going to pick the height, should be height and width. We're going to fill our container. So okay, we'll fill the container, and then the width will also be fill container. So we've got our Serena button set up. We're going to set up our Steph button now. We'll drag that into column 1, rename it the Steph button, take off the text, change the background picture to Steph Curry that is. We're going to stretch. We're going to fill the container and fill the container. In row 1 down here at the bottom, we're going to add a button that we're going to call the home button. So we'll get that down into row 1. We'll rename this the home button, and the text should be home. Okay, so that's our basic setup, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a template screen because we want to be able to use it multiple times. So I'm going to click back on the home screen, and on the home screen I want to save. Up here I want to click Save Screen to My Screens. I'm going to call this Home Screen Web Viewer. Save it so we can easily get back to it. And then I want to create a new screen. So I'll click up here and copy from My Screens, and I'm going to add the home screen, which is Home Screen Webinar. I'm going to copy that one in. So now I've got 2 home screens. This one I want to rename the Serena screen. So let me get there, and I'm just going to call this Serena screen. And for this one, we're going to drag out the Webviewer component. I'm going to drag it into row 2, and we want to set the URL. It's the location that the Webviewer should pop up. I'm using the handout here, so I'm a little off to the side. I'm going to copy and paste the URL off the handout. And for this website, it's able to render on the sort of our as we're accessing this through the browser. But something to keep in mind with this app is a lot of websites are not going to be able to show in the browser. They're only going to be able to show in the mobile app. So if this is not working for you, just keep that in mind, that the bunch of the websites do not show up well within the sort of the desktop version of this. Okay, so we've got our Serena screen. Now we want to add a Steph screen. So we're going to copy another screen. We'll use the home screen web viewer, and we'll rename this one. Oh, can we get there? Rename. So we're going to call this the Steph screen. And for this one, we also want a web viewer component. We'll bring it in here, and I'm going off to the side to the to the handout. I'm grabbing a website that gives Steph Curry statistics. I popped it in as the URL, and it may or may not show up here, but it will show up when we test it as the live app. So now we've got our base screens, home, Serena, and Steph, and we need to do some programming. So we're going to start on the home screen. And the first thing is actually, we don't need that home screen button here. So we're going to actually click on the home screen to get to our screen, home screen. And when it opens, we actually want to set the home screen button. Where's our home button? Yeah, here it is. Okay. And we want to go down and find the visible. We're going to set home screen visible to false. So when this opens, the home screen button should go away because we don't really need it. So when the Serena button is clicked, we will want to go to change the screen to Serena screen. And I'm going to just duplicate this. And when the Steph button is clicked, we're just going to want to go to the Steph screen. So there's our first coding. We're going to go over to the Serena screen. And when the Serena button is clicked, we actually want the web viewer to reload. So in case there's any issues there, when the Steph button is clicked, we want to go to the Steph screen. And then when the Serena screen is clicked, or rather the Serena button, I want this to go to the, oh, okay. Actually, you've already done the Serena button. I'm getting a little confused here. When the home button is clicked, I want to go to the home screen. Okay, so we got the Serena screen. Let's make sure we do this on the Steph screen as well. So when the Steph screen opens, oh no, rather, when the Steph button is clicked, how about that? We will reset the web viewer. When the Serena button is clicked, we should go to the Serena screen. And then when the home button is clicked, this should go to the home screen. Sure, that's all we need to do. Alrighty. So I'm going to test this out. The websites are not going to come up, but I just want to show you what it looks like when we navigate through. So here's our home. Oh, that actually should not be. Okay, let's preview as a responsive app. Maybe that will come up that way. Okay, so it's not rendering great, but if we go to Serena, the Serena stuff goes up. If we click on Steph, ESPN.com is not going to show up on this version, but we can go home, and we're at the beginning. Okay, so it's 2 challenges which revolve around adding more screens and doing some cool customizations, and yeah, good luck to you.